Hi families, welcome to our virtual curriculum night. Today I'm going to share with you our PowerPoint that talks about your second graders year, and unfortunately if I put this into present mode you're not able to see everything, so it's going to have to be a bit of a small screen, but I will attach the actual PowerPoint so you're able to read through it on your own. And with that in mind, I'm not going to read every single slide to you because I know that you're fully capable and able to do that. So I'm going to trust that you'll read through it and let me know if you have any questions, concerns, or comments that you'd like to reach out and talk about. So first, a little bit about me. My name's Katie, and that's a picture of my husband, Brian, and I. Brian works for the Iowa United Methodist Conference and retreats. He's in charge of camping for the state of Iowa, for Iowa United Methodist Church. And then you can see we have a dog, Bee. She is a mini golden doodle, and you'll hear your child talk about her probably a lot this year because somehow stories about her are happening usually every day. There's also a picture of us hiking in Colorado. It's one of our favorite places to be. So being outside, being active, spending time with our family are all things that are really important to us. A little bit more about me. This is my 12th year teaching, actually my 5th year in Waukee. I'm originally from Minnesota, and I did my undergraduate at Augustana University in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and I did my graduate work at Black Hills State in Spearfish, and I have my master's degree in technology integration, which is really exciting since we have iPads and we're going one-to-one this year. Some also exciting news this last spring. I was awarded the prestigious honor of becoming a responsive classroom certified teacher, which means that I have fulfilled the needs to be a teacher who delivers high quality instruction. I create positive and productive learning communities, and I teach in a way that is responsive to students' developmental needs. And that's a journey that I've been on for probably my last 13 years in education. So I'm excited to share more with you about that. Some other bits of my experience while I've moved around from Minnesota to South Dakota and now to Iowa. I've taught first and second grade. I've also had time as a K-4 reading interventionist, and I also spent a year as an instructional coach. But definitely my love and passion is in second grade and using this responsive classroom approach. For me, teaching is a calling, and I know I've shared this with many of you already. And this quote from Mr. Rogers, I don't think anyone can grow unless he's loved exactly and as he is now and appreciated for what he is rather than what he will be. So for me, know that every decision I make this year regarding your child will always be based on my 3 core values. 1, that I'm honoring who your child is. 2, I'm doing it from a place of love. And 3, I feel called to do so. Talking more about the responsive classroom approach, when we think about responsive classroom, we focus on the social and emotional needs of the child first in order to meet those rigorous academic needs. And at Grant Reagan, we have the privilege to also use this approach, and I've actually been using it for the last 13 years, counting my student teaching experience. When you talk about the responsive classroom approach, there's 4 domains where students are pushed to engage in academics. We focus on a positive and safe community, which then results in effective classroom management. And for me, number 1 is developmentally responsive teaching. So knowing the needs of our students individually, culturally, and developmentally so that we can focus on their strengths and push them to be the best that they can be. So some of those guiding principles, the social curriculum is as important as the academic curriculum. How children learn is as important as what they learn. And again, knowing our children that we teach individually, culturally, developmentally is as important as all of those academics. In our classroom and at Grant Reagan, we use these essential practices to make sure that those needs are met every day. We have a morning meeting. We're currently working on developing our hopes and dreams for second grade. And then after that's done, we'll be creating classroom rules for students by students. And then we focus on the social and emotional skills of CARES. And you might hear that language a lot. And those skills are the skills that employers want someday. So skills like cooperation, assertion, responsibility, empathy, and self-control. I'm going to skip through some of these slides, but they talk to you about the importance of morning meeting and what those goals are. But that's a way that we start our day every single day. And it includes a greeting, a share, an activity, and then also a message. I mentioned this a little bit before, but our hopes and dreams set the foundation for a year. They tell students that what they care about matters, and they have a say in what they learn this year. My hope and dream for this year is that each child will never forget how wildly capable they are. I think our last school year did not end how we anticipated it to be, but if anything has taught me, or if this pandemic has taught me anything, it's that we are resilient and we are wildly capable of amazing things. So that is my reminder for your child this year. In your child's Friday binder, they will be bringing home a ribbon. And in this picture, you can see we have a hula hoop. And what's really cool is this hula hoop is full of family hopes and dreams from the last 4 years at Grant Reagan. So I want you to think about your child and what you want for your child this year, socially, emotionally, academically. Please write your hope and dream on that ribbon and then return it to school next week. I talked a little bit about classroom rules already. We'll be working on those this week. And now we're going to talk a little bit about the responsive classroom approach and my approach to discipline in the classroom. Discipline is an essential part of our classroom life and the foundation for a caring and supportive community. It begins with our own clear vision of what we want for children, our hopes and dreams, and is grounded in a deep belief in children's positive intentions, their intrinsic motivation to do well, belong, contribute, and engage in meaningful and learning growth. At the same time, though, we know that children are not born with skills to put their positive intentions into action. So just as it is our job to help children master the skills of reading and math, it's also our job to help them learn the skills of discipline, skills that will help them grow as individuals and as contributors to their community. So discipline in our classroom is proactive and reactive, but we live in 95% of proactivity. So proactively, I will work with children to create and teach and practice our classroom and school-wide rules. Reactively, which is then that last 5%, is I'll use logical consequences to help our children regain control, make amends, and get back on track when we forget or choose not to take care of ourselves and others. The ways that we do that with that proactive intervention is we teach kids how to apologize and how to get there and make amends with their friends. We also use loss of privilege, and those loss of privileges can always be regained through readiness. And we also have a special place in our classroom called the Peace Place. We haven't been introduced to it quite yet. You might also hear it as Take a Break, but it's student created. It's a place where students can regain control before total loss of control takes place. It helps develop coping strategies and develop independence and self-regulation. So taking a break is a good thing. So when you think about, if you're probably listening to this PowerPoint right now and you might be doodling, you might get up to go get a drink, that's you self-regulating. So these are the skills that we're trying to teach children. Part of this year is I want to continue to get to know your child socially, emotionally, and academically. And one of the best ways to do that is through you. So I offer at the beginning of every year these mini meetings. It's about 10 minutes. Your time slot is 10 minutes, but it's really going to be about 8 minutes. It's 10 minutes for you to talk to me. And that 10 minutes is we will be focusing on what social and emotional skills do you feel your child glows in? What social emotional skills do you believe your child could grow in? And what academic skills do you feel your child glows in and what academic skills could they grow in. So literally this meeting is me listening and you talking, and it's a chance for us to get to know each other, because you trust me with the best part of you, and I'm so grateful for that. So I'll be sending out a link here, but you'll be able to see part of the screen. These will be virtual and they'll be held over Google Meet, and the meeting link is right on the slide here. And you'll just put your child's name and then any of the family members that are attending. This is completely optional, but again, it's just a great way for us to get to know each other. In our classroom, academics are part of the workshop model, so choice and voice equals motivation in our classroom. We use the practice of I do, we do together, and then you do, where that independence is built. Our daily schedule looks similar to this. So you can see that this year we're doing specials by week. Our morning is heavy in literacy, and then our afternoon is heavy in our math workshop, and then we end the day with word study and science and social studies. Homework is a big topic in second grade. Your child is encouraged to read 20 minutes nightly. Reading challenges will start this Friday, so be watching your child's Friday binder for that information to come home. Word study is differentiated, and more information will be coming soon about that. And then math homework. Please just refer to our newsletter each week, and your child will be sent home with a Home Links workbook that goes with our everyday math curriculum. And if you follow our newsletter, then you can see where your child could work on specific skills that are optional for them to complete. And then just a reminder about reading every single day. Think about how to read in the edges. I know we're busy, and you want the best for your child, as do I, and it's hard to cram everything in. So I like this idea of reading in the edges. So when we think about I had dance till 8 o'clock, or I had to go to my sister's soccer game, or we're too busy, we can bring our books anywhere. That's what's cool about that. So read in the car, read while you're waiting for your sister's practice to be over, read while you're waiting in line at Chick-fil-A. Any time we're reading is time well spent. Quick overview of assessments for this year. Something to think about is typically in the fall we benchmark students for their reading level. This year we are not benchmarking in the fall immediately, so we can give kids time to acclimate and catch up and get back to just school, but we will be benchmarking and talking more about where they're at as a reader and writer and mathematician at conferences later on this fall. We will be taking the FAST computerized assessment. We will be doing that this fall as well, and that's a reading and a math test that gauges where your child is at in those specific skills, and again, we will talk about those at conferences. Progress reports come out 3 times a year. We'll talk about them at November and March, and just watch your email for those sign-up times. Last, communication in our classroom is huge. You'll get a newsletter prior to each week telling you what we'll be doing. We'll also use Seesaw once that gets up and running. Our Facebook page is a great place to follow along. And please always email me if you have any questions, concerns, or need clarity on anything. And then with that, just as a reminder, with email, please give me at least 24 hours to respond. During the school day, my focus is your child and teaching your child. And I get back to those emails as fast as I can. And just give me that time. And if you don't hear from me in 24 hours, please send me a follow-up email, because chances are I just missed it. So thanks so much for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, please let me know. See you soon.